had ignored that envelope for 5 months. It was crumpled in my car's glove compartment, and every time I saw it, my stomach would turn. I didn't want to open it. I didn't want to deal with one more thing. Until 2 nights changed everything. I opened the envelope, and what was inside didn't make sense. If you like real manifestation stories with practical techniques, subscribe. Because what happened in the next 48 hours changed my life. And if you practice it, it can change yours too. And it all started with a technique I did before falling asleep. Phoenix, Arizona, is the kind of city where the heat gives you no mercy. Even at 7 in the evening, when I'd park my Honda Civic in front of my apartment on Camelback Road, the steering wheel still burned my hands. The AC had stopped working 3 weeks earlier, but fixing it cost $300 I simply didn't have. My name is Maya Garcia. I'm 31 years old, and my life was split into 2 shifts. During the day, I was a call center rep at Western Finance, listening to people complain about fees and charges. At night, I'd put on my red DoorDash shirt and deliver food to neighborhoods that seemed like they were from another planet compared to mine. But what really kept me up at night wasn't the exhaustion. It was the credit card. Capital One. $8,000 limit. Current balance, $7,400. Every month, I'd pay the minimum, $120, and watch the interest devour any progress. It was like trying to empty the ocean with a spoon. The balance never went down. It only grew, as if it had a mind of its own, as if it were a living creature feeding off my shame. Because that's what I felt. Shame. Shame about being 31 years old and not being able to manage a bank account. Shame about not being able to tell my mom, who thought I was doing well. Shame about avoiding going out with friends because I'm tired was easier than saying I'm broke. That Tuesday, looking for an old receipt in the glove compartment, I saw a crumpled white envelope with small printed letters. Final pay, HR department, Cactus Logistics. My old job. I had left there 6 months earlier, exhausted, and never wanted to think about that place again. I threw the envelope back without opening it. I didn't have the energy to deal with one more thing. That week, it felt like even the city's air was charging me. Humiliation has a smell. I discovered that on a Thursday at the Target on 7th Street. I only needed shampoo and toothpaste. $18.47. I swiped my card in the reader, and the machine thought for 3 eternal seconds before flashing, declined. My face got hot. The cashier didn't even look at me. She'd seen this 1,000 times, but I felt like everyone in line was judging me. I tried again, this time choosing credit instead of debit. The machine approved, but displayed a small message on the screen. Available credit, $74. $74 out of 8,000. I left the store holding the little bag like it was evidence of a crime. The next day, at 2 in the afternoon, my phone rang with an unknown number. I answered because I was on break at the call center, and I thought it was about a delivery. Good afternoon. Am I speaking with Maya Garcia? Male voice, polite, mechanical tone. Yes. Maya, this is the collections department at Capital One. Can we confirm your date of birth? My stomach sank. I swallowed hard. March 17th, 93. Perfect. Maya, I'm calling because we've identified that your minimum payment of $120 is 4 days overdue. Can you process the payment today? I'll try. I just need to reorganize things here. I understand. The payment needs to be made by tomorrow to avoid a late fee and impact on your score. Can I help you process it now over the phone? No, I'll handle it. Thank you. I hung up before he could insist. I went back to my workstation shaking. I put my headset on and less than 10 minutes later answered a call from a customer screaming at me because her account had a duplicate charge. You people are incompetent. How do you let this happen? I'm going to sue this company. I apologized, wrote down the protocol number, transferred to the supervisor, and when I hung up, I realized the dark irony. I spent 8 hours a day listening to people complain about debt while I myself was drowning. That night, I picked up a delivery order to a neighborhood in North Scottsdale. Huge houses, green grass lawns, rare in the desert, and cars that cost more than I'd make in 5 years. I parked in front of a white 2-story house with columns at the entrance. I rang the doorbell holding the Red Lobster thermal bag. The door opened, and my heart stopped. It was Jason Miller. We had gone to high school together. He'd been quiet, a math nerd, kind of invisible. Now he stood there in a polo shirt, expensive watch on his wrist, well-groomed hair. He recognized me right away. Maya Garcia? I forced a smile. Hi, Jason. Yeah, it's your order. I handed over the bag quickly, wanting to disappear, but he didn't take it right away. He looked at me, not with pity, but with something worse, understanding. You're doing delivery? Yeah, just some extra cash, you know how it is. He nodded slowly. I know, Maya, I used to be you. I gave an awkward laugh, not believing him. Jason, you live in a house like this. I don't think so. I used to live in a studio on the east side. I was paying the minimum on 3 cards. I know exactly what it's like to feel like you're losing your life while everyone else moves forward. I didn't respond. My throat was tight. He continued, his voice lower. But I got out. And it wasn't with more discipline or more work hours. It was when I stopped begging for money and started assuming a different identity. I frowned. What? There's a way to train your mind to accept a reality before it appears. It sounds crazy, I know, but it works. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to dismiss it. But something about the way he spoke, without arrogance, without empty promises, left me unsettled. I thought he was going to say some catchy phrase. But the next day, he did something that really annoyed me. The next day, I was in my car waiting for the next order when I heard a knock on the window. It was Jason. He had a thin book in his hand. I know you probably think I'm crazy, but... Here. The book was old, worn cover, simple title, The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. Maya, you don't have to believe me. Just test it. There's a technique here called SATS, state akin to sleep. He opened to a marked page. It's like this. When you're relaxing before sleep, that moment between awake and asleep, the mind becomes more receptive. You create a short scene, very specific, as if what you want has already happened. The secret isn't to visualize as hope. It's to feel it as truth. I held the book, skeptical. Like, affirmations? No, you don't repeat phrases. You live the scene, with sensory details, like it's a memory. He closed his car door and turned before leaving. Try it for 2 nights, just 2. Choose a simple scene, but one that represents the relief you want to feel. I went back to the apartment that night with the book on the passenger seat. Part of me thought it was ridiculous. Visualization? I needed real money, not canned positive thinking. But the other part of me, the desperate part, exhausted, with no more pride to protect, thought, what do I have to lose? I opened the book, read about SATS, about persistence, about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and I decided to do something specific. I wasn't going to imagine a giant number dropping into my account. I was going to imagine the state of someone who no longer has credit card debt. Freedom, dignity, calm. That night, lying in bed with the old fan spinning in the corner of the room, I closed my eyes and built the scene. I opened the Capital One app. The screen loads. Where it normally shows balance 7,400, now it shows balance 0. I feel my body relax. I feel my chest release the air. I feel real relief, as if a weight had been lifted off my back. I repeated the scene, again, always the same, always short. My body started getting heavy. My eyes couldn't open anymore. I was at the threshold, that strange space where you still know you're awake, but the dream has already started pulling you in. And then, before completely blacking out, I felt something different. It wasn't a thought. It was a physical sensation, as if my body had accepted it as real. I woke up on Friday feeling different. It wasn't euphoria. It wasn't silly optimism. It was a strange calm, as if a part of me had stopped fighting with reality. Normally, the first thing I did when waking up was check the bank app. It was an automatic reflex, almost masochistic. I'd look at the negative balance, feel the anxiety rise, and start the day already defeated. But that morning, I didn't feel the urge. I got up, had coffee, went to work. And when the impulse to check appeared, during break, in the bathroom, between calls, I simply didn't check. It wasn't willpower. It was as if that compulsion had lost its power. During my shift, I answered a call from a furious customer because the bank had charged a maintenance fee. "This is absurd. You people are always taking money from us." Normally, I'd swallow hard and apologize on autopilot, but this time, my voice came out firmer. "Sir, I understand your frustration. I'll check this now and resolve it." It wasn't anything grand, but it was different. At 3 p.m, my phone rang. Unknown number again. Collections. I looked at the screen, took a deep breath, and let it go to voicemail. It wasn't out of fear. It was by choice. That night, I did SATS again. This time, it was faster. My body relaxed almost immediately. I entered that state of conscious drowsiness with less resistance, as if my mind already knew the way. I imagined the same scene. The Capital One app, the zero balance, the relief in my chest. But this time, I added a small detail. I heard my own voice very quietly saying, "It's over." And then I felt that physical sensation again, as if my body believed it. On Saturday morning, I woke up and went straight to the car to get my bag. I opened the glove compartment to get a tissue, and there was that envelope again, staring at me, the one from my old job, Cactus Logistics, that I had ignored the other day, out of fear of more problems. I sighed, grabbed it, ripped open the side. Inside was a short letter, dated July, 5 months ago. "Dear Maya Garcia, we were unable to process your final paycheck due to outdated banking information on file. Please contact HR at 480-555-0147 to update your direct deposit details. Total amount due, 1-847-00." My heart raced. $1,847. I had forgotten about that money. No, worse. I had ignored it on purpose because I was so overwhelmed, so tired, that opening one more piece of paper, dealing with one more problem, seemed impossible. But now, holding that letter, I felt something different. Anger. Anger at myself for leaving it there for months, but also hope. I grabbed my phone, dialed the number, and waited. Ring, ring, ring. Cactus Logistics HR Department, this is Amanda. "Hi, Amanda. My name is Maya Garcia. I worked there until July and just found out there's a pending final payment." "Sure, let me check here. Can you confirm your social security number?" I confirmed. She typed. Pause. "Okay, Maya, I'm seeing it here. Indeed, the deposit was rejected because the bank that was in the system was closed. Do you have an active account now?" "Yes, I do." "Perfect. If you give me the details, I can reissue via ACH. Should hit within 48 hours if everything's correct." I gave the information, my heart pounding. She confirmed everything and said, with the casual voice of someone who repeats this 10 times a day, "Done. You should see the deposit in your account by Monday or Tuesday. Anything else?" No, that's it. Thank you." I hung up and sat there in the car, staring at my phone. 48 hours. Monday, 6:30 in the morning. I woke up before the alarm. My phone was on the nightstand, screen down. I knew I shouldn't check. I knew the anxiety would come back if I became obsessed, but I couldn't resist. I grabbed my phone, opened the Wells Fargo app. The screen loaded, and then I saw it. Recent deposit, $1,250. I blinked, refreshed the screen. The number was still there, $2,150. My heart raced. My hand started shaking. I looked again, searching for the error, because this couldn't be right. HR had said $1,847. Why was there $300 more? I clicked on the transaction detail. Cactus Logistics. Final pay plus ADJ. Adjustment? Before I could process it, my phone rang. Phoenix number 480 area code. Hello? Maya? This is Amanda from Cactus HR. Hi, Amanda. I'm just calling to confirm that the deposit was processed. Have you seen it in your account? I just saw it, but there's an extra amount. It says adjustment. Oh, yes. When I reviewed your account, I saw there were unaccounted overtime hours from your last pay period. It was about 12 hours that were pending in the old system. I added them to the final deposit. 12 overtime hours. Hours I had worked that I had forgotten, because back then I was so exhausted I didn't even check my pay stub anymore. So, everything's correct then? Yes, everything's correct. If you need anything, just call. Thank you, Amanda. I hung up. I sat on the bed, phone still in my hand, the number glowing on the screen. $2,150. Coming from an envelope I had ignored for 5 months. From a job I wanted to forget. From hours I had worked and never claimed. It was as if the past that weighed on me, that shamed me, had turned around and paid me back. But the part that gave me chills wasn't the money. It was realizing that envelope had always been there. The solution had always been there. But I was so deep in the state of panic, so paralyzed by shame, that I couldn't even open an envelope. And it was only when I changed the state, when I assumed the identity of someone free from debt, when I felt that relief as truth before it appeared, that I was able to act. I didn't manifest money out of thin air. I manifested clarity, courage, the ability to open the glove compartment. At 8 in the morning, I called Capital One. This time, it wasn't collections calling me. It was me calling them. Capital One, my name is Derek. How can I help you? Hi, Derek. I want to make a payment. Sure. Can you give me the card number? I gave it. Perfect. What's the payment amount? I took a deep breath. $2,000. There was a pause. 2,000? Yes. Okay, I'll process it. Just a moment. I heard typing sounds on the other end. My heart was pounding, but it was different now. It wasn't fear. It was decision. Done, Maya. $2,000 payment processed. Your new balance is $5,400. Anything else? Yes. I want to renegotiate the interest rate. Another pause. Let me transfer you to the retention department. I stayed on the line. Hold music. 30 seconds. Hello, this is Vanessa. I understand you want to review your rate? Yes. I just made a large payment, and I want a fairer rate. My current rate is 24.9%. That doesn't make sense anymore. She typed, analyzed. Okay, Maya. Based on today's payment and your history, I can reduce it to 18.9%. Does that work? It works. Perfect. It'll go into effect next cycle. I hung up. And for the first time in months, maybe years, I didn't feel shame. I thought this story ended with a deposit, but the most powerful part came after. I looked at the card statement on my phone screen again. Previous balance, $7,400. Payment, $2,000. Current balance, $5,400. But it wasn't just the number that had changed. It was me. The Maya from a week ago would have taken that money and made the minimum payment for 3 months straight, relieved to have breathing room. She would have saved the rest for emergencies that were never real emergencies, just excuses not to face the problem head-on. But the Maya who had done SATS for 2 nights, who had felt freedom before it existed, didn't do that. She acted like someone who was already free. In the following days, I started making small decisions, but ones that changed everything. I canceled the streaming subscription I barely used, $12 a month. No big deal, but it was a leak. I stopped ordering food on Uber Eats after work. I cooked, not because it was noble or disciplined, but because it made sense for who I was becoming. Cut out Starbucks, made coffee at home. And every night before sleep, I did SATS again. Just 2-3 minutes, the same scene, zero balance, relief in my chest, voice saying it's over. But now, the scene was no longer fantasy. It was direction. 3 weeks later, Capital One called me again. But this time, it wasn't collections. Hi, Maya. This is James from the Customer Relations Department. We're calling because we noticed you've made consistent payments above the minimum over the past few weeks, and we wanted to offer an early payoff program with a discount. I sat on the edge of the bed. What do you mean? If you can pay off the remaining balance in the next 30 days, we can apply a 40% discount on accumulated interest. That would be over $2,000 in savings. $2,000. I'll think about it. Of course. Anything, just call. I hung up and stared at the ceiling. That card, which for years had been an invisible predator, was now negotiating with me. The dynamic had flipped. I was no longer begging for mercy. I was leading the conversation. A month and a half later, I made my last payment. I opened the app. The screen loaded. Balance, 0.00. I closed my eyes. Felt the relief. That relief I had imagined so many times. Now real, physical, true. But the most powerful feeling wasn't the zero. It was remembering the Maya from 2 months ago, shaking at Target, avoiding calls, hiding envelopes. She didn't know the exit door was 2 centimeters away from her. She just couldn't see it because she was blinded by panic. And it was SATS, that simple, almost silly method that removed the blindfold. Not because the universe deposited magic money into my account, but because I changed the state. And when you change the state, you change the decisions. You stop avoiding. You stop shaking. You open the envelope. I ran into Jason a few weeks later, by chance at Whole Foods. He smiled when he saw me. Hey, Maya. I smiled back. I paid it off. He nodded, unsurprised. I knew you would. How? Because you're different. You're walking different. And he was right. I no longer walked hunched over, hurried, trying to be invisible. I walked like someone who doesn't owe anyone anything. Because now, I really didn't. But the most powerful part wasn't paying off the debt. It was realizing that manifestation isn't empty magic. It's state plus aligned action plus persistence, even when your body still wants to panic. If you're listening to this story right now and you're paying the minimum on your card, feeling shame, avoiding looking at the balance, I understand you. I was you. And what I learned is that SATS isn't about asking the universe to save you. It's about training your nervous system to get out of desperation mode and into clarity mode. When you're in panic, you can't see the doors. You ignore envelopes. You avoid calls that could solve everything. But when you assume the identity of someone free, before the evidence appears, you act differently. You open the glove compartment. You make the call. You negotiate. SATS didn't give me money. It gave me courage. So, if you want to try, do it like this. Choose a short scene that represents the relief you want to feel. It could be you opening the bank app and seeing the desired balance. It could be you tearing up the bill. Anything that makes you feel free. Lie in bed, relax your body, enter that state between awake and asleep, and repeat the scene. Feel it as if it were true, not as hope, as memory. Do this for 2 nights in a row, and the next day, take one aligned action you've been avoiding. Open the envelope, make the call, negotiate the rate. I'm not saying money will fall from the sky. I'm saying you'll stop being invisible to yourself, and that changes everything. This isn't financial advice. It's a mental method that pulled me out of rock bottom. And if it worked for me, it can work for you. Don't let this story just play. Subscribe. Save this video to watch again when desperation hits. And share it with someone who needs to hear this today.